Hello, everybody. It is Friday. It is June the 12th, 2026. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I hope that everybody has had an amazing day so far. And as I always say, I know this is your favorite time because you're with none other than me here live on the Inspiration Station with your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, Joshua Lennox. As you all are coming in, I hope that you are just again, remembering to always acknowledge the growth that you're making, the strides that you're meeting goals, you're meeting expectations of yourself, and you're doing better than you think you are. So make sure that you're giving yourself a level of gratitude, appreciation, and be thankful for yourself sometimes. You know, we say be thankful for all the things we have. Also be thankful for God and what He does and who He is in our lives. But sometimes you need to be thankful to yourself. You haven't given up. You continue to push. You continue to give yourself that next thought or that next idea of where you want your life to be. You're creating things. You're innovating things. You're building things. And I can just go on down the list, but you're doing much better than you think you're doing. And I just want to make sure that I am crystal clear on that as you guys are coming in. Please share. Please like. Please subscribe. Share to everybody and their mama in your phone, in your email, whatever database you have. Send it out. Okay, we don't want to keep this to ourselves. And again, I want to thank you guys for continuing to be very patient, continue to stick with me. A lot of things have changed, and again, as I always say, you got to keep pushing, you got to keep going. You cannot just stop when things shift in your life. You have to keep going, and also because God is always looking at your faithfulness. He's always saying, "Are you going to show up when everybody and their mama's there? Are you going to show up when there's one person there? Are you going to show up when you got all the money in the world? Are you going to show up when you only got $5, but you holding on to it and stretching it the best way you can?" You've got to continue to be consistent. You got to be able to always remain faithful in whatever you're doing. And do as whatever you're doing, do it as if you're doing it unto the Lord because He's always watching and you never know how you could be right around the corner from a major breakthrough or a blessing because God saw that no matter what the case has been, no matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles, no matter what has shifted, as I mentioned, or the need for you to pivot, you continue to show up. You continue to be consistent. So I just want to say that. So again, we're on the Inspiration Station live right now on Friday. I'm going to jump right into this. If this is your first time, I want to say this will not be your last time. I'm glad that you're here and you're sharing in this with all of us because the Inspiration Station is not just about this vessel that you're hearing right now, that you're seeing or you're watching, but it's also about all of us, how we're inspirations, not to just one another, but also to ourselves because there are things that you can look back in your life that can remind you that there's nothing that you can't do and that if you have conquered anything in the past, you can win and have victory once again over whatever that is or whatever new things that come in your life because we overcome what tries to come over us. We overcome what tries to come over us. We're open, we're honest, and we're vulnerable. Again, not just with one another, but also with ourselves because often the relationship that is neglected is the one that we have with ourselves, and we don't want to do that. We want to love on ourselves, pour into ourselves, nurture ourselves, build ourselves up before we're trying to do that for everybody else. Okay. Also, this is a place where we will still have people who are coming in to be interviewed, people you may know very well, and people you may have never met before in your life. Some people may be people you listen to in your cars, on your iPads, or anything like that. Watch movies of them on Netflix or and anywhere, or see them on the football field, on the basketball court, whatever. See them in political seats. You just never know who's going to come on here. So I just want to give you an update and upgrade for the people who, if this is your first time, and also for the people, a reminder who have been following and watching the Inspiration Station since 2025. Yes, January of 2025. So we're going to jump right in, y'all. I'm not going to be before you. I was like, belabor you long, but I'm not going to be before you long. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you all continue to show up. Please continue to like, and please continue to share, and please continue to subscribe, and please continue to tune in, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, And those are the only outlets as of right now. No longer on Spotify, Apple, and other avenues. But y'all, we're gonna keep it moving. And as I told y'all like last week, I said I don't know where God is taking me. I could be on television next. This could be in a studio soon, and no longer in my office or in other spaces. So, I want to always drive home to you all is have the faith, not even just the size of a mustard seed. Think big, think greater, speak greater. You never know what your words are going to assign or where your faith is going to take you. If you believe that you can see greater for yourself, speak it every day. If you believe that God can do the impossible, as His word says, that He said, "What's impossible with man is possible with Him." Then say it, speak it, walk around like it, act like it, tell people. So they might think you crazy, and that's okay until they see it. So let's jump right in, y'all. I've been talking about relationships a little bit. I put a reel out about dating and it went crazy. I was like, oh, wow, maybe I need to start talking about dating a little bit. Maybe I just need to talk about romantic relationships or something like that because it seems like that's what people are wanting to hear right now. However, this pertains to any relationship type that I'm about to speak into, whether that be marriage, dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, friendships, family. It could be business, organizations, anything you want to put in church, whatever you want to put in that blank. But I think the drive sometimes is we all want to jump to romantic. Oh, dating, I want to be with somebody, whatever. And that's okay. But just want you to keep in mind all relationship types. So the title of today, and I'm not going to be before you long, you've been pouring into what was poor. I'm gonna say it again. You've been pouring into what was poor. That's POURING into what was POOR. Okay. And how do we know that? What does poor mean? That means poor means it's less than. It's a decrease. It's a deficit there. It's not much to offer. Not much to give back. Not much to gain from. So I'm going to give you four quick points on this. Again, you've been pouring into what was poor. And I know some of y'all are probably thinking like, oh, you already tap dancing on my shoes, my feet, my ankles, everything, Josh. You came out swinging. But I thought about this when I was talking to a client, it was earlier yesterday. And I said, God, what can we do with that? And the client said, Mr. Josh, you need to write that down. I said, I am. I said, man, it seems like even in moments of just working with clients and stuff, God will download a title or something, and He'll just start giving me all these ideas. So if you start getting ideas of any kind that God has given you, don't let that stuff drift away because you never know what it's going to do or how it can impact somebody. So, four quick points. First thing is identify the deficiency. You can't strengthen what you won't acknowledge. That's almost like if you go to your bank or whatnot, you need to identify, you in overdraft. Not speaking that over anybody, but we can identify when where our money is not where it should be or it's less than, and you can't strengthen it or make it better if you don't acknowledge where the deficit is. And it's like, well, where is all my money going? Why is my money dropping down this low? That's the same thing in relationships of any kind. You got to identify where is the deficiency in this? Where are things minimal? Where are things decreasing? Where are things regressing? Where are things empty? So every relationship has weak areas. And let me say this, no one is a weak person, but we all have weak moments, okay? None of us are weak people, right? But in every relationship, there are weak areas. There are areas that need to grow. Maybe you're a person who doesn't communicate that well and the other person does. Okay, well, let's see how we can both pour into one another, POUR, so that we can both be strengthened together. Not meaning that we have to be equal, but we see that there's an improvement on both sides, an improvement on your end if you're not the best communicator and the other person is. And communication may be poor, okay? Those might be some examples. Trust might be poor in the relationship. It's hard for you to trust. And as I mentioned, I think the other day on a reel, that anytime the person sees consistency sees someone being consistently inconsistent, they'll start lacking trust. So maybe in relationships where a deficit might be is that the trust might be poor. It's hard to trust. It's hard to open up. It's hard to be open. It's hard to be honest. It's hard to be vulnerable. So the trust level is pretty low. It's poor. Okay. Maybe consistency may be poor. There's some things that are just 1 minute is this way, the next minute is that. And it's like, there's nothing that ever remains consistent. Things are always changing. There's an interval to things all the time. And also, growth starts with honesty, not denial. You can't change anything if you won't be honest about it. It's no need for you to be in denial to say, oh, yeah, we have the best relationship. We're doing good. We're the best friends, best of all time, and everything. You saying that to people, but then you know deep down, it's like, yeah, but they don't call me, but like every five so days, and I have to beg them to come be a supporter for me. I have to ask them all the time the same questions. I have to tell them over and over again, I don't like when they do this or do that. They think that I can read their minds. They don't never tell me how they feel. They don't never open up. So again, there could be areas in any type of relationship where things are poor, but unless you're honest about it and not in denial, you cannot do anything about identifying the deficiency because you're living in delusion. Okay. Number two is invest instead of inspect. Invest instead of inspect. Show people, some people spend time criticizing a relationship rather than cultivating it. So it's like it's always this pointing stuff out, always looking stuff. And how do we build together? How do we grow together if you're always looking at what's wrong? And again, even when you talk about inspecting somebody's fruit, you can inspect something there, but that doesn't mean you're about to throw it away. If I'm going to I'm in Atlanta, so if I go see some, or in Georgia, so it's like if I go see some areas where they grow peaches, I might want to go get some, but I might have to inspect the fruit first. I want to make sure that I'm not getting something that is rotten or something that isn't fully developed or something that might be their ants and stuff crawling on. So it's like I can't eat that, but at the same time, that doesn't stop me from going to inspect other parts of that tree, you or myself, and seeing where I can see healthy fruit bearing from it. So instead of, and you can inspect something, you can invest, I'm sorry, versus inspect. So it's like I'm not trying to pick everything apart and see what's wrong with it. I want to invest in this and see how can we grow together? How can we become better together? Water where you want to grow. Sometimes people say, you try to let's see, what is it? I can't think of the saying right now, y'all, but water where you want to grow. People think that the grass is greener on the other side, but it's greener where you water it, is something that I've heard. And again, you cannot pour into something while I'm at water and things of that nature with a plant. If you want it to grow, you got to water that thing or it's going to die. If you want your relationship to flourish, you've got to water it. You've got to nurture it. You've got to nourish it. Also, encouragement often produces more change than constant correction. Nobody wants you to keep pointing out all the things that you don't like about them. I often like to use the sandwich method with my clients, especially with clients that are in relationships or they're married couples. And I'm like, can you at least start out with something that the person's doing well, then say something maybe you would maybe hope for them to improve or something you want to point out to them that, you kind of noticed and you giving them constructive criticism possibly, but then come back with something encouraging because I guarantee you in a relationship of any kind, but especially in marriages or if you're dating somebody, everything about that person is not unfavorable. There might be some parts of them, but not everything. So, can you bring about encouragement because that will produce more change than constant correction? Nobody wants to change, and you're always beating them upside the head about what you think they're not doing right, but encouraging them in what they're doing, or also encouraging them on knowing maybe some areas that you might notice could be improved, but also noticing also with yourself how there's some things you're working on as well. So you're not just pointing the finger at somebody else because I guarantee you point that finger at your friend, your parent, your sibling, your boyfriend, whoever, you're pointing the finger at them. And it's like there's things pointing back at you to say, hey, before you go do that, go look in the mirror and talk about the things that you're working on as well and that you notice about yourself. Or ask them, are there some things that these are some things that I just noticed, and this is no, pointing the finger or putting you down, but also, are there some things that you notice about me that I could be working on so that we can become better together? Also, stop keeping score and start adding value. Again, what you're doing with a tally sheet. Okay, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did. Instead of keeping score, how do you add value to the other person? How do you build them up? How do you strengthen them? Being mindful of them, being thoughtful of them, asking them questions about the things that they're needing from you or how you're able to support them. That's adding value opposed to you keeping score. You're not going to win that way because if you're wanting to be connected to anybody in any shape, form, or fashion, you're a representative of them. Whether I don't care if you're in an organization, if you're a part of something and you're a leader or something, you see they might be making some errors or anything of that nature, well, you keeping score and keeping that ready to knock them down or criticize them, you might as well do that to yourself because you're connected to them. So instead of keeping score, how do you add value? That might be, let me go to have a meeting with them and just let them know some things, ideas I have maybe to help the organization grow or to become better. Y'all get what I'm saying? Yeah, hold on, I just got two more. Also, give, number three, give what you desire. Give what you desire. Many relationships become rich when someone decides to go first. What that means is decide to go first, meaning I don't have to wait on you to do something, but I might want to show you something that I would desire from you by giving it to you first, sowing it to you first. And also with that is that, you want respect? Well, give respect. How it's not that hard. Come on, RESPCT. You want communication? Communicate. Be open, be honest, be vulnerable. And sometimes that's difficult, but at the same time, if that's what you're desiring to have within any type of relationship, you might want to give that first. Also, if you want grace, extend grace. I know we all love to give each other grace and forgiveness, right? When we mess up, but give grace if you want that back. Also, knowing that healthy relationships often begin with someone modeling what they hope to receive. And let me say something. Sometimes you're not going to get exactly back. You can't get you back from somebody. You're not going to do that. However, the effort should be matched. This is not a one-way street. Somebody shouldn't, they're not going to be able to give you exactly who you are and what you give, but there should be effort, equal effort coming back. That's like if somebody is, I don't know, if I am a person who, like for me, I'm very mindful of people. So again, I listen, I pay attention. You tell me something you like, it's going to be locked in my head. So I might send you a certain gift or something because I know that that's what you like. Now, I can't sit back and think, okay, well, I want them to be mindful of me like that and send me a gift too. Now, can that be the case? Sure. But my expectation might have to shift based upon how I know that person wants to want to connect with me or how they want to care for me. Because while I might give the gift that way, that person might be heavily busy in their day, but they want to make sure they carve out time to talk to me. So they want to call and check on me and see how I'm doing and how everything is going on with me if I need anything. So it could be different. So just don't always get ready to counsel somebody or any entity just because they're not giving you something back exactly how you want it. It might look different, but the effort should be there. The last thing I want to say is number four, measure progress, not perfection. What was poor, Poor, doesn't have to stay poor. Okay? Measure progress, not perfection. None of us are perfect. The only person who's ever been perfect is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Hello, somebody. So none of us are perfect. You should be consistent. You should be faithful in who you are, and also recognize that the other person is not perfect as well. They have imperfections. We all do. We all have flaws. We all have areas where we need to improve. We all have certain intricate things about ourselves that other people might not like. Or you might not even like about yourself. So it's no need to look for perfection. Pay attention to somebody's patterns and how they're evolving and they're improving and they're making effort to do so. When somebody you see somebody's making effort, especially when you make a comment or you may say something constructive to them about something you didn't like them doing or you like them to do more of, and they make those changes, recognize that. Don't let that stuff just fall to the ground like, okay, yeah, you in your head you say, yeah, that's what I asked for. It's like, let them know that. Let them know you appreciate that you see them making these changes. That's no different than if somebody's at a job where a supervisor may have talked to employee and they say, hey, you're doing really well with your spreadsheets and things of that nature, but I just want you to look at these few things, these details, so we don't have any errors on the next quarter or whatnot. And then that supervisor sees that that person has made an active change. They might let them know, hey, you're really doing really well with this. You're really making great progress with this. And I just want to let you know I really appreciate you for that and your hard work. That can go across the board in any type of relationship. Growth is often gradual. It does not happen immediate. Some things somebody can change right at the drop of a hat, but then also give them the grace to grow gradually. And again, track progress, not perfection. You're not going to meet that anywhere. Okay. Also, celebrate small improvements, as I just mentioned. If something is starting to change and shift within the relationship, Celebrate it. Don't be quiet. Let that person know, hey, I see your effort and I appreciate you so much. It means a lot to me that you did this. It means a lot to me that you heard me. Thank you for that. Celebrate it. There's no need to be, keeping that to yourself like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Let them know that. Let them hear that. You will want to hear that as well. And welcome that when it comes to you. One thing too, last thing is this, don't abandon something that's getting better because it's not perfect yet, or I'll say perfected yet. Sometimes people are ready to just cancel people, ghost people. They don't have patience. They don't want to wait. And it's like, no, I need you to hurry up and do with this, make these certain improvements in your life or change so that I can feel more secure within our relationship, our friendship, and our marriage, and our family, and our business, whatever that is. And that's just not going to happen. You're asking somebody to do something you probably won't do yourself. So it's no need to drop something or somebody just because things are getting better, but they haven't been so perfected yet. So enjoy the process of seeing things change gradually. Enjoy the process of seeing things improve, and also be thankful and glad when you see people who are actively open to be accountable to change, accountable to no longer remain the same, and also to make things better between the two of you, or you and an entity, you and an organization, you and a family. Put whatever you want to put in the blank there, okay? Okay, so y'all, that's it. That's it for tonight. But what I want to say is just really quick again, when you think about that, you've been pouring, pouring, into what was poor, poor, there are four things to make sure you look for. We want to make sure we identify the deficiency, okay? Then also the invest, too, to invest instead of inspect. And again, it's okay to expect some. You want to kind of pay attention to some things, but don't be so quick to inspect to where you rule somebody out or rule something out that you could really be invested in, and that has the opportunity to change and to grow. Okay. Also, the third point is to give what you desire. You can't be going with your hands out and you're not willing to give that to the person, or be able to reciprocate. That's the word I love to fish for all the time. Reciprocate. You can't, you want somebody to do so much for you. What are you willing to do for them? And if you want to see some things appear in the relationship of any kind, make sure you might have to be the model first. You might have to be the first model in that. And they might be modeling things back to you as well. Last one, number four, is just to measure progress, not perfection. We're not in the game of trying to be perfect because it's never going to happen. Okay. So we want to pay attention to what's gradually changing, and you see the improvements and honor that, respect that, celebrate it. My last thought before I let y'all go, I dismiss y'all off into your Friday evenings and everything, and you're getting your weekend up and started. But anything that's constantly withdrawn from will eventually become poor. Anything consistently poured into has the potential to become rich. Rich doesn't also just mean in money. Rich could be in so many things: value, worth, love, joy, peace. I could say so many other things. But the question isn't what's lacking in the relationship. The question is, what are you willing to pour into it? All right. Take a deep breath. Y'all got some stuff to think about now, because you see, what have you been pouring into that was poor? And also, where have you contributed to that? What have you tolerated? How have you played a role in it? Because you can't get mad. I can't believe I poured so much. As my pastor says all the time, we don't waste anything. And some things are just seeds. And the Bible does say that we will reap what we sow. It doesn't always say where we will sow. So you can been pouring in things, it's not wasted. It's going to come back to you. But let's make sure we're pouring into something that's going to be, as I mentioned, pouring into something that can become rich, but also somebody's doing the same to you. Let them pour into you as well. No need for you to be going into a deficit or becoming poor, because you're pouring so much into other people and other things, and no one's doing the same back to you. And you're maybe not even pouring back into yourself. So could you also be the person that you've been pouring into that's been poor? It's like, I've been trying to give myself some, but I'm burned out. I'm empty myself, and I don't even know what to do for myself. I'm trying to pour in myself. I have nothing to give. So I love y'all. It is again Friday. A lovely day it has been, and a lovely time it has been with you guys live here on the Inspiration Station with none other than your CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer, Joshua Lennox. I will see you again here next Friday. And if anything shifts and changes, I'll make sure I update you guys way in advance. But as of right now, it will still continue on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, right now. So I hope y'all are enjoying the weather wherever you all are. I'm just, the rain has come and gone and things of that nature. And the sunshine is out and, whatever. I just pray that the sun continues to stay out. But I love you guys. And as I always say, you've always been great. You're just getting better and you finally have embraced it. So we're pouring not into anything that's poor, okay? Because we're rich, we're wealthy, we have a lot within us to pour out, but we have also room for a lot for us to receive a lot as well. Great things, healthy things, amazing things. And this applies to any relationship type. All right. I will see y'all. Like, subscribe, and share. And I mean that now, everybody in your phone. Now, I don't care if somebody be like, oh, why do they keep sending me this? Send it in the name of Jesus. I love y'all. And I'll talk to y'all next Friday. Bye.